Hey guys, and welcome back to another NBA 2K18 My League rebuild. Today we are doing the 14th pick in the draft, Michael Porter Jr. Easily the biggest storyline coming out of this draft. The top 3 talent that is Michael Porter Jr. with his back and hip injuries fell all the way to the Denver Nuggets at number 14. This actually perfectly fits the Nuggets roster. They have guards, they have big men, but they do not have a small forward to put in between all of them. So now they would have the lineup of Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. So this is a very, very good team now. They, of course, would accept the offers on Nikola Jokic and Malik Beasley, but we have a lot of other salary we need to deal with. Kevin Durant's becoming a free agent, but we're going to have pretty much no cap space, and that is because of Paul Millsap, Gary Harris, Kenneth Faried, and Wilson Chandler. We also have some bad contracts. Mason Plumlee, just some very bad contracts. Darrell Arthur on a $7 million deal. So we have a lot of editing to do with this roster. We have a lot of backups that we could trade, like Will Barton, Malik Beasley, Wilson Chandler is available for trade, Trey Lyles. So we have a lot of assets that we could use to really improve this team. Guys, we have to keep Jamal Murray. We pretty much have to keep everybody on the starting lineup except for Paul Millsap, because we have Trey Lyles and Kenneth Faried behind him, and we're probably going to let Paul Millsap walk in free agency. So I've accepted the team options. I don't think we have any qualifying offers, correct? And we also have no cap space whatsoever. Let's see here. We're gonna reject Devin Harris, get $6 million back, and we're gonna try and keep on to Will Barton. We have 6 power forwards apparently. So let me see if I can just let me just sign Raymond Felton to a minimum contract. Sign him as a possible 3rd string point guard. And honestly, after that, we should be good. So we'll get Raymond Felton. And now how do we have 6 power forwards? Oh my god. Tyler Lydon, Arthur, Hernan Gomez, Lyles, Faried, and Millsap. Okay, so we have a couple options here. One, I kind of want to trade Paul Millsap. Do we have Lyles? Okay, we don't have Lyles. We have Hernan Gomez for the next year. So I'll try and re-sign Trey Lyles. But I want to possibly package Millsap in a trade. Let me see what I could get for Paul Millsap. He does have a team option, so we could just reject that next year. Saric is on a team option. Marcus Smart, Zach Randolph, Enes Kanter. I would like to get another power forward to replace him with CJ McCollum on a 1st round pick. Kind of like where we are now. I may want to do this trade right here. Get Dario Saric for Paul Millsap. We also save a lot of cap space. You know what? I'll hold off on a Paul Millsap trade until the start of next season. So let's go through the rest of this offseason and figure out where we're going. Nikola Jokic goes up. Everybody's going up, including Kenneth Faried. So let me just use my training camps on untapped potential, and we should be able to get into the 1st season with this new Denver Nuggets team. If Michael Porter Jr. turns into the player that he has the potential to be, along with Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic, in a couple years, Denver could be one of the best teams in the NBA if Michael Porter becomes what he possibly could be. Let's see here. I want to use one on Jamal Murray, and I would like to use one also on Nikola Jokic. There we go. So that should be all for this offseason. So let's take a look at the starting lineup. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Michael Porter, Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. I actually want to lower the minutes of the bench real quick. And I want to get... Okay, there we go. I want to get Michael Porter more minutes. And I want to get Gary Harris and Jamal Murray more minutes, just so they can develop a little bit more. So there we go. I'm actually going to look at possible trades for Paul Millsap, as he's declining. He's 33 years old. He's not going to get any better from here. So, Sam Whiteside. What happens if I move Jokic to power forward? Does that increase? Yes, it does increase. He's a 92 at small forward? How is that possible? What if I move Michael Porter? Michael Porter's the same. So let's move Jokic to power forward. He'll play our big man. He'll play center as a power forward just to increase his overall. So that means I got to trade Paul Millsap. So let's see who we can get for Paul Millsap. DeAndre Jordan on a ridiculous contract. No way I'm doing that. We have a player option on Hassan Whiteside. Rudy Gobert for the next couple years along with Ed Davis. You know, let's do this trade. Let me see if I can get somebody else for Ed Davis. Who are your worst players? I'll take Dante Exumon. Top protected pick, no. I'll give you a second round pick as well. I'll give you the Wizards second round pick. Tyler Lydon and Ed Davis. You know what? To get Rudy Gobert, I'll take on that contract. We also get a backup point guard to replace Malik Beasley and a backup power forward to replace Tyler Lydon. So we're going to take that trade. And now the new starting lineup will be Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic at power forward, and Rudy Gobert. So that really improved us. So we're going to get Rudy for the next couple years as well. So that will be the starting lineup for season number 1, guys. I will see you, hopefully, with a top playoff team. So, guys, at the end of season number 1, we go 48 and 34 Westbrook with a triple-double. But look at the rookie of the year, our very own Michael Porter Jr. averaged 28, 6, and 4 on 47% from the three-point line. Absolutely incredible. We are to 6-man, and here are the rest of the awards. Any nuggets on these teams? Unfortunately not, but Michael Porter, very nice on that all-rookie first team. So, we did make the playoffs. We were the 5th seed in the Western Conference. We're going to be going up against Karl Towns and the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is going to be a bit of a tough matchup, but I really like how our team's coming together. Michael Porter up to an 82, Jokic up to a 92, Gobert an 88, Gary Harris and Jamal Murray both went up. Looking at the player statistics, Michael Porter, of course, was our leading scorer with 28 and 5 a game. Jamal Murray, 17 and 7. Raymond Felton actually played a couple games and got 16 and somehow got 10 rebounds. I don't know what happened there. Gary Harris, 15 and 5. Nikola Jokic with 15, 8, and 5. And Rudy Gobert with 10, 8, a couple assists, and 2 blocks. Raymond Felton also somehow got 3.5 blocks per game. How many games did he play? How many games did he play? Where are his stats for the season? He has 16, 13. How many games? Oh, he played 34 games. Apparently he did really well on those games for us. But I'll take it. Raymond Felton putting in work. Milwaukee, the #1 seed. Boston didn't make the playoffs? Really? The Celtics did not make the playoffs. They're usually one of the dominant teams. Huh, that's pretty surprising. But either way, let's go ahead and face off against these Minnesota Timberwolves. So, they take game 1. We tie it up. We split at home. Very nice. We take game 3. They tie it up back at 2. They go up 3-2. Tie it up 3-3. And, okay, first round exit. I'm honestly not surprised by that. Michael Porter did great. Who is not putting in? Jamal Murray really didn't do much for us. Gary Harris did pretty well, but Michael Porter is just a dominant player overall. So let's simulate the rest of these playoffs. Not surprised. Yeah, Golden State winning the title. Unbelievable. Now let's get into this offseason. This is where I want to see what happens. Reject that. I want to see how much Michael Porter Jr. goes up by. I want to see how much his overall goes up by. Nuggets 22nd pick, that's not really going to be worth it. So I'm hoping an increase to at least like an 86 or an 87, a 5-point increase. I know that would be a lot to ask, but he is Michael Porter Jr. He does have that potential to increase by that amount. Sorry, Fizz, but we're going to have to go after whoever Barney Rowe is. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much he goes up by. I want to see if Jokic is improving as well. He is only 22 years old, so if he can go up by a little bit, I would really, really like that. Ben Simmons, let's see here. Move right on to qualifying offers. Dante Exum and Trey Lyles. I'll offer it to Trey Lyles. I'm not going to offer it to Exum. He didn't really give us much this offseason. There's, of course, Paul Millsap declining his team option. The team declined his option. Renounce Wilson Chandler, renounce Daryl Arthur, and renounce Dante Exum, and we automatically save about $38 million in cap room. So we need to backup shooting guard, backup small forward. So let's see who is available on the market. JR. Okay, let's try Gerald Green, and we also need a backup small forward. So we could re-sign Wilson Chandler. Let's go with Justin Anderson for a year. So let's get Gerald Green, Justin Anderson, and that should be good for free agency. Moving on to player progressions, this is the most important part of the offseason to see how much. Okay, nice. We get Trey Lyles back. Yep, there we go. Michael Porter up 5 overall. Even Rudy Gobert going up. Happy about that, to an 88. Nikola Jokic to a 92. Porter to an 85. Oh, Gary Harris. I wish you could go up by a little bit more. You're 24 years old. You have a B+ potential, which isn't even that bad. Besides that, we have the new backup point guard, Quentin Grimes, so he should be a nice addition. How did we get him at the 22nd pick? I'm honestly surprised we were able to snag him right there. Move on to training camps, and this second season is where the Denver Nuggets should really take off. Michael Porter Jr. has had time to develop, so this really should be the time that he goes into his own. Training camps, I'm going to use one probably on Gary Harris because we have him for the next couple years. Who else can we possibly do? Jokic, I'm thinking Gary Harris, actually Gary Harris and Jamal Murray. So let's use one on Gary Harris, A-, and Jamal Murray to an A. So that should be good. Hopefully those guys will actually improve during the season a little bit as well. But here we are, season number 2. Great starting lineup. Jokic at power forward is really working out pretty well for us. Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, and Rudy Gobert. Trey Lyles, Kenneth Faried. You know what? I want to pick Quentin Grimes right there. Get rid of Al Jefferson. Get rid of Plumlee and a little bit of these guys. I want to get some more to Quentin Grimes. Move him up to the 8th man. And that should be good. So, I also need to set Michael Porter, then Gary Harris, then Jamal Murray. There we go. That should be all set for season number 2. So, guys, I will see you at the end of the regular season. And I'm expecting a bigger performance. I'm expecting at least 30 points per game from Michael Porter Jr. So guys, at the end of season number 2, we go 54-28. Curry, your MVP. Bull, your Rookie of the Year. Here are the rest of the awards. Nuggets, I'm not sure. Maybe Michael Porter. It's okay. We have a very balanced team. No Nuggets on any of the teams, but we were the 3rd seed. Houston and Golden State were in front of us in the Western Conference. 4 games behind Houston, 7 games behind Golden State. Looking at the player statistics, Michael Porter had a bit of a drop-off, but the improvement in team performance was really, really good to see. He got 20 and 5, but he shot 47% again from the three-point line. Gary Harris with 18 and 5, a much more balanced attack. Jamal Murray with 18 and 6. Jokic with another insane season of 14, 8 and 7, and Trey Lyles with 10 a game. So we are in the playoffs against the Dallas Mavericks. Dennis Smith Jr. in 87 now. They have Quinterly and Jaren Jackson and Paul Millsap off the bench. This is a very deep team, not as talented as us, but they're still a force to be reckoned with. They actually take game 1 and game... Okay, at least we take 1 game. 2, 3-3. Okay. How did Dallas beat us? I don't understand this whatsoever. How did Dallas beat us? Dennis Smith went off. Nikola Jokic did okay. We played well. It's just we lost by 5. I don't understand it. Okay, you know what? If anything, we're just gonna improve more until our 3rd and final season. We should have gone farther in that playoffs. I mean, Dallas made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. The Greek Freak takes the title. So now we get to see how good our team is with Michael Porter Jr. going into his 3rd season with Denver. I don't think we have any major draft picks. LA and Boston actually go 1 and 2 again. Yep. I'm going to move on right through to probably the rookie signings. There's not much going on before that. Who we're going to get in the draft? Somebody named Emmett Williams, 76 overall. I'll take it. Yes, of course, we're going to accept Michael Porter's team option. And besides that, we should be able to move right through to the moratorium. Kevin Love available. Jaylen Brown is a restricted free agent is available. DeJounte Murray is available. So there's a couple players out here that are piquing the interest. Yeah, goodbye to Mason Plumlee. We'll keep a cap hold on Justin Anderson. Yeah, that should be good. So we do need a shooting guard, small forward, and center. So shooting guard, who is this? Tyler Johnson only wants $2 million. I'll definitely offer him that. Shooting guard, small forward. Who is available? Norman Powell. We'll go Norman Powell, and I believe we need a backup center as well. I'll bring back Ed Davis. He was solid for us, so we get Norman Powell and Ed Davis. Tyler Johnson goes elsewhere, so we still need a shooting guard. Who can we get for cheap? Joe Harris? Yeah, I'll get Joe Harris for $2 million. There we go. And that provides us with a solid backup team as well. But now, I'm expecting 90s. Multiple players in the 90s. There we go. Michael Porter Jr. up to a 90 overall. He's gone up 10 overall in his first 2 seasons. Jamal Murray going up by 3. Jokic up to a 93 overall. Gary Harris, still, I expected way more from him. He only went up 1 overall. Quentin Grimes went up 4. I'm very disappointed, to be honest, in Gary Harris. We may want to move him before the season starts. Rudy Gobert is still doing good at 28 years old. I'm going to continually use untapped potential because that'll actually help them throughout the season as well. I'm going to probably use this on... should I use this on Nikola Jokic? He's already an 8+. I'll use this on Jamal Murray, get his potential up, and then I'll use a perimeter shooting on Michael Porter Jr. His 97 open shot 3. That is absolutely incredible. So this would be the starting lineup. But I want to see what we can get for Gary Harris. He has not proved his worth much at all. He's still only an 86 overall. I thought he would go up to at least an 88 or an 89 at this point. But we need to find a shooting guard that can replace him. Donovan Mitchell, I bet he's on the last year of his contract. Yep, he's on the last year of his contract. Any other shooting guards that I could acquire? CJ, he's only on 1 year. Otto Porter, and Robert Williams. That may be intriguing. Who do we have? Okay, what would happen if I moved Michael Porter to a different position? Shooting guard, he goes down. That stays the same. Rudy Gobert actually goes up 1. Sure, I'll move him. So does Jamal Murray, actually. That's surprising. Anybody else change? Quentin Grimes goes up. Jeremy Grant goes up. So does... Wow, I didn't realize that all these players actually improved. So now Rudy Gobert is a 90. Jamal Murray's an 88. So then we can just still play them all at the same position. Jamal Murray and... You know what, let me try and piece together a trade including Gary Harris to try and upgrade that shooting guard position, and I'll bring you guys back at the end of our final season. So guys, here is the new lineup. Jamal Murray at the 1. I traded Gary Harris and Ed Davis along with a second-round pick for Chris Middleton and Quentin Grimes at point guard. So now we have an 88 overall Jamal Murray at point guard, an 87 overall Chris Middleton at shooting guard, Michael Porter, Nikola Jokic, and Rudy Gobert, with Quentin Grimes, Kenneth Faried, and Joe Harris rounding out the bench. This is a dominant team. We have 5 players 87 or above, Michael Porter and Nikola Jokic. So we should have no problems this season, and we should be able to make a deep playoff run. So yet again, we go 54 and 28. Here are the Rookie of the Year awards and things of that nature. Bol All-NBA first team in his rookie year. Oh no, it's his second year. It's his second year, okay. It's his second year. Any Nuggets? Yeah, we have... Oh! Porter and Jokic on the All-NBA third team. Very, very nice. Rudy Gobert on the All-NBA first team for defense. Hey, finally we got somebody on these teams. We were the 2nd seed this time in the Western Conference. Taking a look at the player stats, Michael Porter back to his days of averaging 27 and 7. He also averaged 4 assists this year, which was pretty interesting. 49% from 3. Jamal Murray, 19 and 7. Chris Middleton, a big upgrade probably from Gary Harris, 17, 4, and 5. Nikola Jokic with a near triple-double, 17, 10, and 8. Quentin Grimes off the bench with 13 and 4. And Rudy Gobert held it down with 3 blocks per game and a double-double. Very happy with his production. And we will be facing the Utah Jazz with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell, Melo, Naz Reid, and Mirotic and Harry Giles coming off the bench. All these teams are dangerous, which is we lost game 1 and game 2. Are we going to get swept? Okay, we're not getting swept. We gotta I don't understand this 2K. And you know what? 2K19's coming out. I just may wait until then. I don't understand. This team is by far better than the Utah Jazz. They just are. The Jazz, this team right here is not as good as the team that I put together. It's just not. That's how it works. I don't understand it. But still, this is a really good team. Michael Porter Jr., if he becomes what his potential shows he is as the #1 player in this draft, and the Nuggets are able to keep him injury-free, he will change the entire team that is the Denver Nuggets. The combination of him, Jokic, and Jamal Murray will be one of the best combinations and one of the best big threes in the NBA in about 5 years if Michael Porter Jr. goes on the projection that he has. The Nuggets, if Porter works out, got the biggest steal in the draft and probably one of the maybe the best player in the draft. But if he doesn't pan out and he gets injured, it's a 14th pick. So they could have gotten a great player, but it's not the bust of having a top 5 pick not work out. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Michael Porter does in his rookie season. He said he hinted at playing in the Summer League, which if you're the Nuggets, you are not letting him touch an NBA floor and play in that sort of environment or play 5-on-5 contact at all until he gets medically cleared and is 110%. But we'll wait and we'll find out. But guys, thank you for watching this rebuild. Guys, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more NBA 2K rebuilds. Next, I will probably be doing Luka Doncic on the Mavs, pairing him up with Dennis Smith Jr., and we will be continuing on with our NBA draft coverage. But guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next draft rebuild.